Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Worst Company to Have. As always, I am your host, Kyle, and I have with me...
It almost sounded like you were going to say my name.
I know.
I'm Alex.
What's up, guys? Dude, we have got to get a better consistent schedule for this.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
But hey, I'm always down for like the night.
Me too.
So Friday night, we can switch it to Friday nights.
We can, or
Yeah.
they could just be our backup.
Oh yeah, that works. Yeah, if not Tuesdays and Fridays.
Hey, as long as it gets done during the week.
All right, so yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. Quick bits, man.
Quick bits.
Excuse me.
So, I guess I didn't know this up until now. I mean, I heard briefly about it, but I didn't know if they were doing a sequel to the series or not. But I guess the Bad Boys franchise, Michael Bay with
with Will Smith,
and Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
I guess they had a TV spinoff in the works.
I think I've heard of that. Yes,
but it's not moving forward. They're not doing it. I think it's because I don't know if they're gonna do a reboot or, but I've heard recently that there's a movie in the works. So
I've heard that too. Like I've heard both like the TV show and like the movie. So I mean, is that something people want?
I don't know. I don't care about it. I don't care about it. All I remember is from the second one was like, "How old are you? 16? Bitch, you look 30."
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. Anyways, so upsetting news: Brooklyn Nine-Nine got canceled.
That's the one with Andy Samberg, right?
Yeah.
It got canceled?
Yeah.
How?
It's a great... I don't know. Fox is stupid.
Well, no shit.
Fox is stupid. They canceled it. But our savior, online streaming...
Oh, there you go.
Netflix services are trying to pick it up. According to this, Hulu took a pass on it. But they're known to pass on, like, big things. So, if anything, I think Netflix would probably pick it up. They picked up Arrested Development, and they're about to do season 5, I think.
Of Arrested Development?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, they're either done filming or they're close to being done. But I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine is going to find a new home with Netflix.
Oh, that's good. So,
yeah,
I've noticed that like a lot of series that like they get canceled, even though they've been doing really well, Netflix seems to pick them up.
Yeah.
So then in that case, can Netflix renew? Was it Firefly?
You know what? They probably wouldn't be opposed, but I think now, I don't even know. I mean, I don't want to say that there isn't an audience because I want it.
I've actually never seen the show Firefly, but I watched Serenity.
Serenity's good.
Yeah. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I watched Firefly. I think it's like one season. And yeah, something.
Is it only just one season?
It's something like that. Yeah.
It's
really good. But it's basically the character of Indiana Jones in space.
Right. Yeah.
So Nathan Fillion is great. That's kind of what like made him like a big god to fans.
Right.
So. But moving from that, The Exorcist got canceled by Fox after 2 seasons.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they had a show about that.
So did I. Inhumans is officially canceled on ABC.
Jeez, it took this long?
Yeah,
damn.
to officially cancel it. Yeah, I don't know. So, but Fox is doing something. They're reviving Tim Allen's Last Man Standing. I don't. It was a show that he had back in like 2009. I want to say. I could be dead wrong, but it was like his like comeback to TV after like Home Improvement, and I guess it got canceled, and now they're just like, yeah, renew it.
Interesting.
Do you watch iZombie?
I don't.
All right, I don't know. It got renewed for season 5. I don't care.
All right, moving on.
So the Predator reboot director compares Experience to Iron Man 3. Does that mean Experience working on it? Probably.
Interesting. Yeah, I noticed that they actually released a teaser for Predators, like the Predator movie.
Yeah, so
I didn't even know that they were doing Predators.
It's kind of like a reboot / sequel, because according to, I could be getting this wrong. Collider, I think, reported on it. Arnold Schwarzenegger is gonna make a cameo, linking everything together. So
interesting.
This one says every record Avengers Infinity War has broken. I'm sure it has. So how many more seasons of Rick and Morty will be? That's what it says. Poor grammar. We just got confirmation. Well, not verbal confirmation, but a weird Instagram shower scene between Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, saying that they're getting back to work, which is confirming that they're working on season 4 now. So.
Which is good. Yeah. I think that's good. But yeah, that video you showed me, I was just like, literally like drop jaw. I was like, what?
It's really weird, but I mean,
but it fits.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like it's totally like their humor. So yeah, it totally fits.
And and on a side note, Dan Harmon is looking great. He's
I saw that. Which is good.
He's being very public with it, and I couldn't be
which is good. You know, and it seems like he's a very like genuine dude. You know, like
he really is. I mean, on Twitter, like he like there's a lot of people ask him questions about like mental health and stuff, and he's just like very vocal.
And like there was like an article on Facebook or something like that said like a teen had actually reached out to him about like I think it was like suicide or something like that, and he responded with like 4 pages. That was just like I read the entire thing, and I was like, oh my god, like this guy's wow.
One of the many reasons why I love Dan Harmon.
So and yet he's making TV shows and shower videos with other random like 50-year-old men.
But, hey, I mean, look at the man's work, and he's
that's good though. That's good.
Fuck, I guess Taken was gonna have a TV show.
Yeah, I actually did hear about that too. I'm like, they need to put that to rest.
But that was canceled by NBC,
of course.
But it's searching for a new home, so
I
might come to Netflix. Probably not. I think cable will pick it up,
dude.
I think some cable network will pick it up. Maybe Fox. Or something.
I've only seen the first Taken movie. I don't think I've seen the other 2 or whatever, and I thought it was good, but. Then it's like...
I don't know who you are. But what I do say... That's my best Kermit impression.
I was wondering if your Kermit voice would ever make it to this podcast. And it did.
I stole that bit from Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, it was Family Guy, right?
Well, no. He does it on on some British talk show.
Okay.
He did it for that bit, but I used to do it, and I would do the Breaking Bad scene.
I remember. All right, so like for those of you who don't know, me and Alex have actually worked at Target for like several years. That's how we met, and every chance he would do his Kermit the Frog impression and just start saying lines from like serious TV shows and movies, and he had like the whole monologue from Breaking Bad just in the Kermit voice. It was the best thing ever.
Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson. I can't.
Dude, that's it.
Peter Jackson should direct Green Lantern Corp. King Kong, Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
He can do scales.
Okay. Oh, all right. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like with the DC movies and the state that they're in right now, you know what? Whatever.
Shazam has officially wrapped.
Has it really?
Yeah. They're done filming. It's time for editing, so
we should be getting a trailer pretty soon.
Maybe
shit.
Give it 3-4 months, maybe.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
Put something together.
Zachary Levi, right?
Yeah.
Zachary Levi. Cool.
James Gunn compares Adam Warlock delay to Thanos buildup. So here's a weird thing. He went on Twitter, and I guess he's fucking tired of people asking him questions. So he just put out a list, and one of the things that he put, which was interesting, he said that Adam Warlock will not be in Guardians 3.
Then why tease him?
I don't know. Huh. Maybe I was gonna say maybe Avengers 4, but
you know what?
But it would be kind of random because no one even knows
who Adam Warlock is.
General audience wouldn't know,
right?
Or even people that are strictly just following the MCU but don't know anything about comic book characters. Right. It would be like they would just be like, well, where, where?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Where did this guy come from?
Yeah. Well, we can talk more about that when we do our Infinity War. Yeah, because yes, we're going to talk about Infinity War today. It was great.
So, G.I. Joe Snake Eyes spinoff movie is in the work.
Okay.
Ray Parks.
All right.
I mean, he was Snake Eyes, but if he's leading into it, I don't know.
Ray Parks, like, everything.
Yeah.
Like, anything, like, stunt related, he's done it. I mean, the bastard played Darth Maul. Come on.
Oh my god! I mean, do you follow him on Instagram?
I don't. I know you do.
He's a beast.
Like
he's got he has like I'm exaggerating, but it's like half-ton weights like on a like trampoline while he's like strapped to like bus or something, and he's just like ripping, and I'm just.
That's it. I think on Monday I start working out.
Hugh Jackman reviews Deadpool 2. It's a work of genius, mate.
Okay, I'm gonna give you another chance to do that again.
No,
that was pretty bad.
So, Infinity War CDC poster contains secret spoilers. I didn't pay much attention to it.
I don't even know what the CDC poster is.
It's that one big collage of like Thanos holding the fist and
that had spoilers in it?
I guess so.
Interesting.
Jon Favreau's Star Wars TV series is set before The Force Awakens.
Oh, okay.
So
I can mind that because, yeah, you know, because it was always interesting to know like the kind of stories and stuff that they did after Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those two periods of time. Everybody likes. I mean, at least I was interested in. You know, like, in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, it's like that period. It's like, well, what was going on during that period? But then, like, after Return of the Jedi, it's like, well, what's going on after that? You know, and I don't know, those time periods, I always feel like they could they have a lot to work with.
Well, they're gonna explore a little bit because Disney just renewed or greenlit an animated series called Star Wars Resistance.
Okay.
Since Rebels just ended, this is
right.
So it's gonna be in like the style of it's gonna be kind of anime.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's still all like English and stuff. So.
So it's kind of like you remember like way back then, early 2000s when they did the Clone Wars animated series, and it was like in the style of like Samurai Jack.
Yeah, but no, this is gonna be more. I want to say CG anime where it looks like 2D, but there's like weird like.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
It's like it has like weird dimensions and colors are a bit brighter and stuff. But
sweet. All right, cool. I'm down to check that out.
The artwork for it doesn't seem too bad, so.
Cool.
And then last thing is The Quiet Place gets a sequel greenlit.
Already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's been making money.
Well, yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, nice, very nice. Yeah, no, I'm actually, I'm like surprised, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Because that movie was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was very original, like very original.
Yeah. Jim from The Office wrote
it. Yeah.
he wrote, directed, and starred. People are like, "Oh, it's connected to Cloverfield." It's not.
No, but there are a lot of theories that say it's connected to the Cloverfield universe. Which I mean, it'd be cool
if it ends up being that. I'm gonna be a little disappointed,
right?
Because I rather it be its own thing.
Yeah, and it definitely should be its own thing. Yeah, no, and I don't know. It was a good movie.
Yeah,
like it was really good. It was funny because in the theater watching it, like, because like the movie literally has like little to no dialogue.
Yeah,
I would say maybe 5 minutes of dialogue total. Maybe less.
Yeah.
I know. But there were like during those scenes where there was like no music, no sounds or nothing, and it's just completely suspenseful. Like there was literally people in the theater just like in complete silence. They didn't even want to eat like popcorn or anything because. And I feel like if your movie can do that to the audience, then it's got to be good.
So it got me to the point where I was being engaging with the movie because I was in the theater by myself. I went really late, and I had that benefit of just no one being there at night.
Do you usually go to the movies by yourself?
I'm starting to. I'm starting to, but it's just it's better because I don't need someone next to me to be like, hey, that's the guy from help me out here. I'd be like, no, shut
up. You know what's funny? And I actually didn't realize this until someone actually just recently told me or asked me if you and I go to the movies together for like the reviews we do. And no, we don't. No, we don't. we watch them our own separate ways.
I text you like, did you watch it? Yes. All right.
Cool. Maybe we should start doing like going to see the movies.
But yeah, so I mean the moments of like where John Krasinski's character would be like just putting his finger to his lips and just like saying to be quiet. I was like, don't make noise.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Oh man. The fact that all of the characters portrayed such emotion and
so I think the movie was great overall. I do plan on buying it, but there's one bit which is a spoiler.
Right.
So spoiler.
Of course.
After the baby is born, they go into that basement thing that they do. Mm-hmm. One of the kids has run off to set the fireworks to distract the monsters, and the other daughter or the oldest daughter, or the only daughter, whatever. She runs off to go mourn.
Yeah, she goes to visit her brother's grave. Yeah.
So they're not there. They have constructed this basement to be completely soundproof, so the baby can live and all that. And Emily Blunt's character tells him, "Go find our kids." So John Krasinski goes back up from the basement, and he opens the little hatch and he walks away. And he doesn't notice the water rushing to the basement. And it's not like a small puddle that's like creeping its way. No, like there was a broken pipe. Like he comes out of it, and it's not even like far away either. It's like maybe like 5 feet away from him. I
didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's like maybe like 5 feet away from it, and it looks like his character looks at it, and then just disregards it and goes to find his kids. But it's not even like a small like stream or like it's a broken pipe that's just gushing water. And I'm like, and then I don't know. It seems like almost instantaneously, but I would assume maybe in a few minutes the basement is already flooded up to like Emily Blunt's like almost to her waist.
Right. Yeah.
And the baby like the cradle of the baby's like floating in the water, and I'm just like, how? Like
yeah, you know what? Oh my god, I actually didn't even think of that. Like it did flood up really fast.
Yeah, it flooded up really fast because there was a shit ton of water, and it's not like they had a hatch where they can close it so it would prevent it. They just had like a mattress covering the entrance. They just had a mattress covering the entrance to that basement. So that was the only thing that I was like, that doesn't make sense to me as to why. Like, I understand he had to go find his kids.
Right.
And, but at the same time, I'd be like, you know what? Like,
let me just shove something in this broken pipe real quick.
Yeah, it's something. Or, I don't know. It's just, they had bags of sand.
That's true.
But that was the one thing that I was like, that didn't make sense to me as to.
That's weird because I actually never noticed that. Yeah. I would say the only thing for me that was off about that movie was towards the end when they revealed what the monster really looked like, when you get the full shots. Yeah. Some of the CGI looked a little like cartoonish. Not cartoonish, but it was like, I mean, the CGI kind of looked like, you know, you ever seen like the original Resident Evil movies? those liquors, you know.
Well, the excuse for that is that this movie had a pretty low budget.
Right. Which I mean, I can understand. Yeah. Which is not a big thing. It's like a minor thing. But overall, I thought the movie was just it was insane. It was. But the thing is, it's funny because I think the movie, it says, oh, it's a new horror movie, but in reality, the movie's not. I mean, yeah, it's got horror, but
I didn't see it as scary. But
it's more a thriller.
Yeah.
It's a complete suspenseful thriller. Yeah, it's
the first, I guess, movie in a horror genre that I've like been very, aside from like Get Out, it's the first one in a few years that I've been like very anxious while watching it. So
I felt that too.
Yeah, so it's something that I don't know. I want to watch it again. Mm-hmm. But
oh yeah, no, definitely me too. I've actually like as soon as the movie got out, I got home and I just started looking up like theories and stuff like that, and it is confirmed that, and John Krasinski himself has stated in an interview recently that the aliens or like the monsters are in fact aliens.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, where did they come from? Or I think John, he said it himself that the planet that these things had come from was like destroyed, and they were just kind of drifting into space and stuff like that. And which I thought it's like, it's kind of cool. So there's like more of them out there, you know. And it's like it also kind of begs the question. It's like, well, what else is out there?
Yeah. They remind me a bit of the fungus monsters from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And especially the
like the way they looked, and like the way they sounded too.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of those, like another like the little theories, not theories, but am I talking fast? I feel like I'm talking fast. They were talking about how, well, because one of the questions that was written on like that whiteboard was like, why don't they eat their prey? You know, and one of the videos that I watched that talked about like, well, maybe this is why. It's because these creatures, they're not surviving off of food or anything. They're not attacking for sport or anything. I think it's probably because they have such sensitive hearing that any type of noise or like not major noise, but like any type of decent level noise would cause them pain. So that's why they rush to attack, so they can destroy that whatever's causing them harm. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. But that was pretty cool. There was another thing that said that, and I didn't catch on to it until I saw this video, but you notice that they're still running electricity.
Yeah.
Like so someone out there has to be running a power plant or something for this place to have electricity.
Which is another reason.
Because obviously generators would be too noisy.
Yeah. So which is why. When people are saying, "Oh, this is a Cloverfield," like no, like there's no power in the world of Cloverfield.
Yeah,
like they don't have. That's what Paradox was about. Like they were trying to find an off-world source of energy because Earth just doesn't have it anymore.
Right. And how long does the movie take? It's like, what was it 400 days or something like that, or like I know it jumps.
Yeah. It was something of like 400 days.
Yeah.
Because it starts on day like 84.
Right, and then it like jumps to like 400 something or whatever.
Also, quick side note: if I lived in that world, I'd renounce sex. I just would, like, just because the thought of when I found out she was pregnant, I was like, why?
That's why?
Why? Why would you do one? Why would you bring a child into this world, especially one that isn't gonna shut up for like 6 years? And then I'm like, how did they have sex without like just being quiet? Well, and then that waterfall. So
well, there you go.
But I'm like, at the very least, like, why didn't? Well, I guess you would need. It'd be pretty small. I was gonna say, why didn't they make shelter by the lake?
There was another. There's a lot of articles that said like, well, why not? And a lot of the articles that said that, they were like, well, this is why. It's because you would literally have to uproot your entire area to move to that area. Plus, the construction alone of trying to build a shelter would be too much noise.
Yeah, that's what right now, because that question just popped into my head, and then the answer immediately was like, no,
like nope.
I really like the idea of them creating a trail of sand.
Yes.
The pathways
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then also them being barefoot, I'm just like, wear socks at least, at least, please.
Yeah, you know what? Because I mean, even socks would be fine. I mean, I guess they can. They always rip, but yeah, I mean, like, Another interesting note is that the town that they go into, or like the city or whatever, like in the beginning of the movie, it's not destroyed. It just looks like it's just abandoned.
Yeah.
Which kind of implies that this invasion wasn't an immediate thing.
Yeah.
Like they landed and it was a gradual thing, and it's still going on, because they're trying to fight this stuff, and that explains why they still have running electricity and stuff like that, which is kind of cool, because like if this was kind of like an immediate thing, the town would be destroyed, everything would be gone, and plus another one of those clues is like the missing posters, like when it shows the wall of like all the people that are missing. If this was like a thing that just happened like right away, there wouldn't be that many missing posters.
Yeah.
So it's like this person went missing, then this person went missing, then like gradually over time, all these people just went missing, and then it just got to where that point is. So I always thought I thought that was kind of actually interesting. That these aliens, whatever their motives are, they don't seem to be too fond of taking over the planet. They just want to whatever they want to do.
So I didn't notice that they weren't feeding. I thought
you didn't notice that.
No, I didn't.
No.
I thought when like they would kill, they would like eat.
They didn't kill
because
anybody.
they do have mouths.
Yes,
but if they're not feeding, then and they're just destroying, then like how are they living? Is it just like know. Maybe it's like one of those things where like because it's an alien, like its body is just constantly generating some kind of nutrition or something.
Maybe they're just maybe they're just creatures who don't need to eat, because from what John Krasinski has said, that these creatures come from another planet, who knows how far away, and if they were drifting on an asteroid that crashed, because it does say in the movie, it shows like on a newspaper clipping that an asteroid like hits New Mexico or something like that, and that's where these things came from. I mean, you're not going to find any food or anything in space. And how long did it take for that asteroid to reach us? So, obviously these things can survive the vacuum of space. So they probably don't need a lot to sustain themselves.
So what did you think of the ending? How they found the resolution for it?
I thought to be completely honest, I thought it was a generic way to do it, but I liked that it was still kind of a twist. Like,
so I saw it coming.
I mean,
when I saw that he was like tinkering with like, I'm like, oh, he's trying to make, he's trying to, I was like, I understand why he would want to give his daughter a hearing aid. Obviously she's deaf and she can't hear these things. Right. But then I was like, they're putting a lot of emphasis on this.
On the hearing aids?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, they put a lot of emphasis on it. Like I think he's like tinkering with it like in the beginning, and then towards the middle, like when Emily Blunt's character like comes down to see him, like he's playing with it again. He tries to like press it on her, and she's like, "No, like it didn't work last time."
Yeah,
and then it's just so there's just like a lot of emphasis on that hearing aid, and then in the end, it's like they're destroyed by high pitched noises,
right?
Which you're telling me because they can clearly be killed by like guns and stuff.
Well, only when they open up because it's shown that they're bulletproof. Like on one of the clippings or whatever, that they're they're completely bulletproof.
Oh, okay.
The only time that they're vulnerable is when they open up their heads to hear. That's why, like in the end, when the daughter uses her hearing aid to create that high pitched frequency, obviously the creature's in distraught, it's in pain, and it has its head opened, which allows it to be vulnerable. Okay. So it's like they found that weakness.
Because I didn't see that clipping that said that.
They're bulletproof.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, how would they even fare against the army?
Yeah. That's why I was like how did they, if they could be shot in the head?
This is why we need to watch movies together.
So many questions.
So many questions. But yeah, like I said, like the whole thing with the daughter's hearing aid being the reason why they were able to fend them off. That was like, I guess it was kind of like a generic way to end the movie. I mean, I get it. It was cool. but at the same time, it was like very like.
I did like that last shot of Emily Blunt
cocking the shotgun. Yeah, that was cool. Badass. I think what I'm trying to say is like, I guess on paper it sounds generic, like the way that they decided to do the ending, but the way they executed it on screen, great.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, A Quiet Place was really good. It was it was a surprise on how good it was.
I mean, John Krasinski has been doing some pretty good things. I think he directed. It was like, I don't remember if it was a comedy. There's comedic elements to it. I think it was like a dramedy kind of thing, where it's called Meet the Hollers.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like, I didn't watch it completely, but I know I think he directed it.
Okay. But
anyways, it's good to see him behind a lens, and he's actually being like really effective.
Yeah.
Behind a lens,
yeah. So. And this just goes to prove that John Krasinski's going to be a force to reckon with in Hollywood. Yeah. You know, when it comes to both acting and directing.
Surprising people as directors, Donald Glover, Jordan Peele, and John Krasinski.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because Jordan Peele did Get Out, and Donald Glover did...
He's doing Atlanta.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's doing Atlanta, and Atlanta is great.
Is it?
It is so good. And he doesn't direct every episode. Mm-hmm. He directs a few of them, but the ones that he does...
You can notice. Okay, very cool.
They're really good. And just... Side note, did you catch him on SNL?
No, I didn't.
It's great.
Is it?
he's so great. It's good. It's good to see that he can still like do comedy.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's good. I mean, because that's how he started, right?
Yeah. So he started his biggest thing that kind of launched him was he was writing for 30 Rock.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He was writing for 30 Rock, and then Dan Harmon hired him to be on Community.
Oh, that's right, Community.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then from Community, he actually, before all that too, he had a YouTube channel with Derek Comedy, I think it was called, and they just did like sketches.
Oh, okay.
So those sketches.
And then he's also got his music career too. So
he had his music career, which he's gonna be retiring soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's gonna retire Childish Gambino. He's focusing more on movies now. So
well, that's good because he's a decent actor. Yeah, he's a pretty good actor, and I'm definitely interested to see what he's going to do with in the Solo movie. Yeah. Even though that movie's not really something I want to see, but I'll give it a chance.
I'm getting more and more excited because of him. Mm-hmm. But
we just got to get you more and more excited for that Venom movie.
No.
Yes. No. Yes. Come on, dude. You got to admit they made Venom look pretty cool in the trailer.
He looks okay, but he doesn't have spider powers.
I'm pretty sure
he's a mix of a bunch of different Venoms, too. He's definitely a mix of Toxin, which is a new-ish Venom who he talks to his host and he's like oh I want to kill. He's like no, you can't kill anybody. He goes but Toxin is bloodthirsty, so he's like all right, you can kill.
Toxin was a good guy. He
is, but the way he tames the symbiote is. He tells them you can kill 2 people a night, but they have to be bad. They like he has them like on a strict like rule like.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so like that's the only way Toxin can be like tamed is if he unleashes that kind of hell.
When does that one come out?
I don't know.
Well, we got to see it.
All right,
we got to see it because we got to talk about it.
If Tom Holland is in it, then it'll be enjoyable. But it's a rumor, and he's not gonna be in it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like Amy Pascal can do whatever the fuck she wants because Tom Holland is also contracted with Sony. So, I don't know. If Amy Pascal wants to throw a wrench into the MCU by giving them Venom. Oh, man. But talking about the MCU, leading into it, there was a brief conversation of including TV characters in Infinity War. So, but they realized that with the roster that they had, it was already too much to maintain. So they didn't want to overfill. But we could have most likely it would have been like Coulson that came in.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that could have maybe gave us Robbie Reyes. Maybe that could have gave us Jessica Jones or Daredevil. Iron Fist would have probably been a more likely candidate because he's got a magic fist that can blow anything up. But it's nice to know that those conversations are at least being had.
Right.
They're not completely off the table. So I'm just curious how these Netflix shows and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are going to deal with, like, the aftermath.
Oh, I know. Huh?
After Infinity War. Because they're all still connected, because in Jessica Jones Season 2, the Raft is mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys don't remember, the Raft was the prison that Tony made.
Right.
For everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little surprised because supposedly they're distancing themselves from the MCU, but they bring in that detail. And so it's nice to know that conversation is at least being mentioned when they're thinking of the MCU, and they're not completely separated. But Infinity War.
Yes, Infinity War.
Did it give you the feel like it did to me?
That movie did not feel like it was almost 3 hours long.
It didn't.
It was like I wanted more.
So, have you watched Arrested Development?
I have not.
So
very little.
There's an Easter egg in Infinity War that I lost my shit over because the directors oh my god, what are their names? I can't believe I forgot it. I'm blanking. Kyle, help. What are you doing?
Are you okay there?
I'm really trying to remember what are they? I can't. Russo brothers.
There you go.
You're no help.
I know I'm not. I like watching you struggle.
So the Russo brothers actually worked on Arrested Development.
Okay.
They actually worked on Arrested Development, and their style was, oh my god. You have a video playing and a man just punched a video game man punched a video game.
Okay,
boy.
Stop explaining things. What I have on in the background is the Game Grumps, and they're playing a game. There's literally no sound coming from the TV right now, and
he killed a man.
He killed, yes.
So yeah. There's this little Easter egg. It's Tobias Funke, and he's dressed in blue, or he's painted.
Oh no! I did see that. Yeah, it was in the collector's room, right?
Yeah, he's painted blue, and it was so fun to see.
Yeah, don't they use they put a lot of like Arrested Development Easter eggs in many different movies. Yeah. Like there was a lot of Arrested Development Easter eggs in the Ninja Turtles movies.
There was. But the Russo brothers didn't do that one.
No, but I think it was just because it was Will Arnett.
Yeah.
So
Will Arnett eats a
it was like a
what's his favorite? It's Parmesan cheese with peanut butter, I think.
I thought it was mustard.
It's probably mustard.
Okay,
it's like something disgusting. But in Civil War, the blue stairway car thing is there. It's in the background. So it's really cool to see because it's probably my favorite sitcom because like I really like The Office and I really like 30 Rock but I think there's something about Arrested Development that I love it so much just maybe because they're just a bunch of assholes
of course,
and so they're great. Which is another reason why I'm looking forward to Solo a bit because Ron Howard he created and wrote Arrested Development. So he knows how to write like those asshole like smart ass
right
type characters, which is perfect for Solo. But I also have reservations, but I am a little excited because it's a nice collection of talent that's going into Solo. But aside from that,
yeah. So all right, guys, that was our Infinity War review.
No, man,
all right, let's start from the beginning.
Just Spider-Man.
That's not the beginning.
Okay, I like how the invasion starts and 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 Doctor Strange and Iron Man are just like, hey, get the fuck out of here. Like, Earth is like, no.
Yeah. They actually had some. Okay.
Are you disappointed they didn't have goatee bros? That goatee bro moment.
Oh, I know. Well, no. I mean, who knows? We might see that in the next one. But out of all of the interactions I was not expecting, it was the Doctor Strange Tony Stark one. That was funny.
So the Russo brothers did such a brilliant job of pairing up all these characters.
Yes.
You had Doctor Strange, who's just a prick. And
yes. And then you have Tony Stark, who's just an arrogant, cocky asshole.
Yeah. So you put
perfect.
And so their dialogue together was just
and then like the little like things that Mark Ruffalo's character Bruce Banner just puts in nowadays. And then when Wong is telling him about the Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
What is it? The Hulk
something. Yeah. And he's like, that's a thing.
I quickly forgot. I'm like, wow, like Bruce Banner has not been on this earth for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he hasn't been on that earth for a while. And then so they have that whole fight scene in New York. Almost immediately, Peter gets his Iron Spider suit.
That's awesome. That was cool.
I love that so much. Just, it smells like a new car in here, Mr. Stark.
And he's like, all right, now go home, kid. And he's like, oh, come on.
It's great. They gave him four legs
instead of 3. Yeah, which I think
is fine.
Yeah, the aesthetic looks a lot better with 4 legs. Yeah,
anyway. It's fine. I wasn't bothered
by
it.
Never mind. We'll get to it when we get to the end of the movie. Just remind me to tell you about a joke that I saw that had to do with a Spider-Man toy. Okay. If you can remind me. Okay. All right.
Let's see what else. What else goes on to that? And then we cut to Rocket and Thor.
That I loved that interaction was great. Come on, Rabbit. They're calling him a rabbit the entire movie.
How did you feel about him getting his eye back? Kind of.
I mean, I liked it. I mean, the patch was cool because I didn't actually realize that it's the same eye that his father doesn't have. Yeah, that was a weird sentence. Like he lost the same eye that his father lost.
I think that was kind of the stylistic thing of when he sat on the throne and he had to kind of like mirror Odin.
Right. I mean, I don't mind him getting his eye back. It's all right.
Neither do I, but at the same time, I was just kind of like, why tease us? Like
I know, right?
Why tease us? Like, not that I wish bad for Thor. I just like he just kind of looked like a badass.
He did. He looked like a lot big badass.
His axe,
a Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's so badass. But people are like, Groot is worthy. No, he just put that thing together.
Yeah, he just put it together.
He just put it together. He's not worthy or anything.
And plus, because like, how can he be worthy? Well, here's the thing. The reason why people can't pick up Thor's hammer is because Odin had put an enchantment on it. Yeah. That axe could be wielded by anybody because it doesn't have an enchantment. Yeah. It's just a really powerful axe.
That's who. Yeah. So even if Groot is worthy, it doesn't matter because there's no enchantment on it. Let's see, what else? Peter Dinklage as a giant dwarf.
That was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious.
He was a tiny giant.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else was paired up? You know what? I was a little nervous about how they were going to write Peter Quill with Tony Stark and Spider-Man because we haven't seen them interact with each other, so I was wondering, I'm like, is it just gonna be joke after joke after joke? No, like they made Starkiller like this is a guy who's like trying to do his work, but at the same time he's not like what's a good way to explain him? Because you have Peter who's joking around being witty, and then you have Tony Stark who's just like just being offensive. But then you have Star-Lord who's just kind of like I don't know how to explain it. You're leaving me to hang too.
Yeah, again, like watching you struggle.
point is that I'm happy that their personalities weren't very, carbon copy of one another.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Like each character felt like they were their own individual character, like with their personality, the way they said, made their jokes, their one-liners and stuff like that. Yeah, they each felt like they were their own individual character, which is cool. And plus, I feel like Drax in this movie had some of the best and funniest comedy.
Where's like, how long have you been sitting there? He's like,
about an hour. I've mastered the art of standing incredibly still. And then Man says, "Hi, Drax." Damn it.
How did you feel of?
No, what the? Sorry about that.
How did you feel about Peter Quill being responsible?
Oh, for
everything.
I mean, it like it makes sense. I mean, because
Tony and Peter had that.
They did.
They had that glove off.
Yeah, but you also have to think that Quill is a very hot-headed, guy, and since the fact that he basically just found out that his girlfriend was killed by her own father.
Yeah. I understand, but he couldn't.
Yeah,
he couldn't just like hold back just a bit. But I was almost tempted to say, why didn't Mantis just like hop off Thanos for a second and just put Quill to sleep? But obviously she couldn't, or else Thanos.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe Spider-Man could have just been like, foot.
Well, he was trying. I mean, he's got super strength, and even like he was.
Well, I mean, for Quill.
Oh yeah, he could have, but he was too focused on
true
to help.
Yeah, but I mean, how else are you gonna progress the plot?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, I guess it makes sense, like in the story.
It fits for his character.
It does. It does, because he's hot-headed, he's quick to action, he's impulsive. So yeah, it definitely works. But that fight scene though on Titan, like when they're all fighting him together, and like
magic with the kick, magic with the uppercut.
Oh yeah,
I loved it.
And then watching Quill like fall backwards into the portal that Doctor Strange has made with the middle finger. Yeah. It's like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
like this is too awesome.
Tony's one-on-one with Thanos.
That was awesome. I feel like they did that scene as a kind of it's like, because Iron Man was the movie that started everything, and there is a connection between Thanos and Tony Stark. So it was almost like this is like 10 years of movies being built up by Iron Man. So that little one-on-one that he had, it was like, well, holy shit, like this is it. You know?
I do like that he's like all that fuss for a drop of blood.
Yeah. Oh, there's a theory that it was intentional, that it was just a small drop of blood. Because Tony being a genius and everything, maybe he trying to take Thanos' blood as a sample.
Maybe.
So I mean, well,
but I mean, Thanos was chipping away at that suit. It was trying to regenerate, and it couldn't build itself fast enough.
That's true. That suit definitely has to be based off the Bleeding Edge.
Oh yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, my brother was like all about it. He wouldn't shut up about it. But granted, I wouldn't shut up about the Iron Spider suit. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
One thing I noticed, they took a couple of things away from the Iron Spider suit. It doesn't have the thrusters. The spider suit does have some repulsors and stuff like that, and it made him just a bit more agile and stuff like that. So I actually like that, because I didn't want it to just be another Iron Man suit.
Right. So, yeah, and plus it's more tailored to him.
Yeah.
Than like, oh, this is just another Stark suit. You know.
I want to know what that suit is made out of, though.
It's strong.
Well, it's strong, yeah, but what I mean is like Peter's being really flexible in it.
True. Yeah, he's very flexible.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it was designed specifically for him.
Yeah. So I'm just like, it can't be metal though. So, but I don't know.
Here's a question. I just thought of it. Do you think they should have waited to reveal the Iron Spider suit for Infinity War instead of doing it at the end of Spider-Man: Homecoming? Because I feel like
no.
Hmm.
I mean, everyone expected it to be in Civil War because that in the comics that's when he actually gets it.
Right. And
then for them to just tease it in Homecoming, I think it was okay, because Peter Parker alone isn't strong, skillful, or even tactical enough to do things on his own. I mean, as far as like take on Thanos, I mean he was barely able to defeat Vulture.
Right.
So he was going to need all the help he needed. So them teasing it at the end of Homecoming, especially us knowing that Infinity War was going to be like just 2 movies after. I think it was an okay.
Yeah.
An okay reveal.
What do you think about the color scheme? Like, do you think the original like red and gold color scheme from this Iron Spider suit would have worked?
That would have been nice to see, but again, it's a little too similar to Iron Man's color scheme, and at the same time, because clearly you want to differentiate the two, right? But on screen, I can picture it being kind of bland looking.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I can picture it.
No, yeah,
that's why I think to accommodate it, they have his traditional colors, but they have that gold resonating into it.
Okay. Ooh, Red Skull shows up out of nowhere. Had no idea he was going to be in this.
Neither did I. It was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, and it's funny because now that I think about it, I feel like a lot of articles that have been popping up on Facebook have been kind of like saying like, "Hey, Red Skull," you know, because a lot of articles have been saying like, "Where has Red Skull been? Infinity War is coming up, and we haven't seen anything about Red Skull." Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but I don't think anyone knew because it's like, what?
Nobody knew and nobody expected it because the original actor for
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving. He was like, "Nah, I don't want to do this anymore."
Exactly.
Because it's not Hugo Weaving who does it. It's some dude who like does like amazing impressions or something.
Of Hugo Weaving.
Yeah. So I'm just like,
I wouldn't mind if they replaced him with that.
Neither would I. mean,
because
as long as he can do the job, like
why not, right? Because I feel like, well, I mean, the way that Red Skull is right now, since he's like that all-knowing whatever he is, it'd be kind of weird to bring him back. But I mean, and we'll get more to this in the end. With when they do the whole gauntlet thing, if they restore everything back to normal, then they could bring Red Skull back as like a villain or something. I don't know.
Oh, like them pushing like a reset button.
Yeah, it just resets everything.
I can see that.
Let me think. It just feels like there's just so much in this movie, and it's like, what do we talk about? You know.
Going back to Wakanda.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I did like the battle scenes and with when Groot, you know, he's doing his thing and he looks at Steve Rogers and he's like, "I am Groot," and Captain America's like, "I am Steve Rogers." Like that was pretty good.
Also, like I like that Captain America looked at him and wasn't phased at all.
He was just like, "I am Steve Rogers."
He wasn't phased. He wasn't phased. It's a tree. This talking tree. He was just like, he's like, yeah. All right.
Or it was really cool. This isn't a review anymore. This is just us gushing. When what's his name, Bucky, when he grabs Rocket and they just like spin in a circle. Yeah, that was like, oh, that's too cool. He's like, that arm. How much for the gun? It's not for sale. How about that arm? He just looks at him and walks away.
Let's see. M'Baku and T'Challa calling each other like brothers, being brothers in arms.
That was cool.
Which, I mean, it's cool. I liked it, but I was wondering if they were going to make M'Baku the villain for
like the next Black Panther movie.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like it. as from what Infinity War has to say, and then Avengers 4. After we see that, what happens there? But it doesn't look like he's gonna be a villain. It looks like he'll be more of an aide.
Okay, I mean,
which is still
that's
fine.
Cool. Yeah. Because like I actually kind of like that because obviously, and for those of you who don't know, M'Baku's the original character is Man-Ape.
Yeah. And
that's the original villain character and stuff like that. And I can understand why they don't want to call him Man-Ape, especially in the freaking sensitive ass world that we're living in. When they take liberties to changing different things, like how would I say this? Like, well, I guess we can just use this for now as an example. That Man-Ape is originally he's just a villain, straight up villain and everything. But if they can change that and to make him into like an aide or like an ally, that kind of creates a whole new dynamic with like the whole Black Panther Man-Ape kind of relationship, and it might be cool to see like for the second Black Panther movie, like them working together and then doing that. And it just came to me right now. With that being said, maybe in the second movie they're working together, but something happens and they're both conflicted with each other and then become enemies. But I mean, it's cool to see that, like, and I feel like DC can take a lot of notes from this stuff. Just take the liberties with these characters, change them around for the big screen, because they don't necessarily. I mean, it's cool to see that these characters are pretty accurate to the comics, but this is a whole new medium for these characters. Yeah, it's a whole new thing, so take the liberties, take the chances, take the risks, and it should work out for the best. And what do you think? What do you think about Bruce Banner not being able to turn into the Hulk? I think it definitely kind of cements the fact that the Hulk and Bruce Banner are two separate identities. They're two separate personas.
I did like that Bruce kept talking to him. He was like, "Hey, come on, you asshole! Like, get out of here!"
Yeah.
But
like, fine, you big green asshole. I'll do it myself. Hey, he was badass in that Hulkbuster, though.
He was. Yeah. One thing I did kind of like was that it felt like Hulk was just embarrassed that he got his ass kicked. So he's like,
no, fuck that. He's like, what do you mean, no? Yeah. When in school, and I actually just read this. Always talking about articles. Actually, it might have been like Looper or something like that on like YouTube or something. That when they did the Incredible Hulk, like back in like 2007, something like that. Technically, the first Marvel movie to start off the MCU.
Well, actually, no. Iron Man came out before it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Iron Man came out before Hulk.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, and then I think Iron Man 2. No, I'm lying. It's Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, Avengers.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Iron Man 3, Thor 2.
Oh. Then never mind. Anyway, apparently, I forgot who the director was for The Incredible Hulk, but apparently they originally wanted Mark Ruffalo to play the Hulk, but because they didn't want to work with Edward Norton, because I guess apparently he's just really difficult to work with. But I think, and I forgot what the actual article said about it, but obviously Mark Ruffalo couldn't do it, so they had to go with Edward Norton. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. To see that they did actually get the original actor that they wanted to play as the Hulk, instead of just being like, oh, they just switched actors, So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Hulk does feel disconnected though from everything, and I think it's just because of Edward Norton. Yeah. I think it's because of the character change, but it's still the best Hulk movie because we only have.
There's only been like 2. There was Hulk
3 technically. If you're counting that like Avengers-esque team up movie with Luke Ferrigno.
Oh Jesus!
But 2, the one with Eric Banner and then this Edward Norton one. But yeah, let's see what else was in this movie.
So much crap.
So much. Who are we not talking about? Oh, Scarlet Witch and Vision.
Oh, okay. So it does look like they actually did adapt the whole relationship from the comics and stuff. Man, they did Vision dirty. They killed him twice.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
But he turned all white.
Yeah, which is again they did say something like, "Oh, well."
Okay, so everyone pre-snap is confirmed dead.
Okay, when you said it took me like a minute to process when you said pre-snap, and I was like, what? In my head, I was like looking at you like, what the fuck are you talking about? pre
Thanos,
snap, universe wiping snap.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So those people are, according to Marvel, those people are permanently dead.
So Loki and Heimdall.
Loki and Heimdall, for sure, I'm positive are dead. Gamora, I doubt that she's dead. I think that she's stuck. Her soul is stuck in the Soul Stone.
Okay, makes sense.
And I think that Vision will come back because they put a big emphasis on like, oh, he's part Jarvis, he's part Ultron,
they did put a lot of he's like part everything. Yeah.
Like and they even said like, oh, and he's adapting and this and that.
He's evolving, yeah. And plus like when he died the second time, all the color drained from him, and he was like how he is in the comics now.
For the West Coast
Adventures. That's right. Yeah.
So
he's more emotionless then. Yeah. So I think that's going to create, obviously when they bring him back, that's going to create an interesting dynamic between the Scarlet Witch and Vision. So
do you think they'll bring back Quicksilver?
I hope so. I hope so. I actually liked his character in Age of Ultron, and plus, I think that's what the MCU is missing. They need a speedster character because I think that would be totally badass.
I was kind of hoping that they do some kind of time travel thing because of all those pictures and stuff that they leaked out, but apparently that's for Avengers 4.
Is it?
I guess so.
Oh shit.
I don't really know. So riding off of that, the trailer and all the promotion stuff, do you feel really misled like I do? Because there's a lot of scenes that they were showing in trailers that I was this isn't in the movie.
Right. Well, I was watching
which I actually, not to cut you off, but I after watching the movie, I appreciate it because it kept me blind to
yeah, of course. And I was actually watching like Mr. Sunday Movies, like the deleted scenes and stuff like that. You know, his video that he usually does. Yeah. He made a point where they flipped things in the trailer, like when it shows Hulk coming down from the Bifrost. Obviously, they flipped that image to make it seem like it's a completely different scene than what they had. Yeah. The scene with like Doctor Strange and I'm just gonna go by what Iron Man called him, Squidward, which I thought was hilarious.
I don't know any of their names.
Yeah, right. But that's that dude, like when he holds up his finger to his mouth to like say shush, and you know it was cool. And I think it's actually a pretty good ploy when they either they take scenes away from the trailer because it's then it's like. And I think that's actually a big problem with like movie trailers because it's like you don't even have to show a lot in your trailer. Yeah. But if those scenes are exactly like that in the movie, then it's like, oh well, I saw this coming already. You know, it kind of ruins everything. Yeah. So like that running shot or that establishment shot of them running with like Bruce as the Hulk and stuff like that.
You know what I noticed is that we didn't get an Avengers shot. Like we did in Ultron in the first one.
No.
We haven't gotten that.
That's true. We didn't.
One of my favorite bits in it is where Peter Quill's like, you guys are from Earth? Is Footloose still the greatest movie of all time? And
Peter's like, no.
No, it never was.
Yeah, it never was. It never was.
He's like, no, it never was.
and you know, that I loved because Peter is obviously all into like pop culture, and it seems like he's really into 80s pop culture. Mm-hmm. When Quill was born in the 80s and he lived in the 80s for a while. So I think that's a really cool dynamic. You've got someone who's living in the modern times and someone who's so far beyond that. Yeah. Like in the end of Guardians 2 when he's like, it seems like this is the thing that everyone's listening to nowadays and it's a Zune. It's like, what the fuck? So I want to see more of that. I want to see more of the Quill Spider-Man connection because I feel like
because all Quill knows about Earth is from the time that he was there and it's just the 80s. and he was what, like 12 when he got abducted,
something like that. Yeah.
And so he doesn't know anything past that. So it's great to have Peter there, like
to say like, wait, what?
like,
No,
like no, like you got things
you're
so
wrong.
wrong. Like this Missouri boy doesn't know anything.
Oh, was it Missouri? That was Michigan.
One of those two. Something with an M.
And he's like, I'm not from Earth. I'm from Missouri. Missouri's on Earth, dumbass. Okay. So here's something I wanted to run by you, and I kind of caught this early on. Mm-hmm. So, do you remember when Doctor Strange was using the Time Stone to look at all the possible outcomes of the battle, and he said that he looked at least over 14 million, and only one of them came out to be the victor?
Yeah.
So, do you think, because I think so, do you think that Doctor Strange gave Thanos the Time Stone to save Tony's life because that is the catalyst that puts them to that victory?
It has to be.
Yeah.
Because the way they've done Doctor Strange, at least his character, is that he's taken his job as the protector of his realm very seriously.
Yeah, and
so he's willing to do whatever it takes.
Right. Even if it means losing to win. Yeah. And plus, like, it makes sense for his character because he's a surgeon. Yeah. So he's going to take the very minute details of everything. And if only one outcome of those 14 million possibilities was just one of them winning, I'm pretty sure he's going to look through that entire series of events to make sure this is what, and this is what's going to happen.
That's why I'm like, he did that intentionally. I'm not like, when, he's a fucking idiot. The first thing I thought, I'm like, oh, he's tricking Thanos. Like, he's doing some kind of thing. But no, he actually gave it to him, and I was like, okay, well, I'm like, but Strange has.
But also,
has a plan for
did you also notice that when he was fading away, it seemed like he was expecting it?
Yeah,
because he was just like, it was the only way.
Yeah, yeah. So Doctor Strange has a plan for it, and I want Avengers 4 already.
I know. The good thing is we only have to wait 1 year.
Yeah,
it comes out literally exactly.
We have Ant-Man and the Wasp, which takes place before
Infinity War, of course.
Do you think we're gonna see something at the end?
We might. I mean, they have to do something. They might have to.
They're gonna have to be like in the what's that realm that they go to?
Like the not the macroverse. The microverse,
mini world, itty bitty world.
Let's just go with your words.
And then itsy bitsy. Captain Marvel will be set in the 90s.
Yes.
Speaking of Captain Marvel, the end credit scene.
Yes.
Nick Fury pages her.
Right. So this I would say this pretty much confirms where Captain Marvel has been, because that's been a big question. Yeah. Like, well, if Captain Marvel's gonna be set in the 90s, where has she been? Like, where the fuck has she been? Well, she's in space. Didn't you see that communicator? That's not that thing. That thing's rigged. Yeah. It's rigged to send out far signals. You know, she has to be in space.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be cool.
And Mr. Sunday touched on this, and he was like, people are saying, oh well, why wasn't she called when robots were taking over the world, or why wasn't they called when aliens were? Because
it wasn't
like the Avengers had that. Like
they had it, and it wasn't. I mean, those were large scale things, but it wasn't like it was like, we need extra help, you know.
Yeah, one of my brothers was like, well, who did he page at the end? Like, Captain Marvel, and he's like, well, why is she important? Like, because she's fucking powerful.
Yeah, like, extremely powerful.
She has her powers. For those who don't know, they're cosmic based.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So she can combust anything like with a snap of her finger. It's basically I don't. It's similar to Nova's powers, but on a much like grander scale. So I feel like she's gonna be the one to defeat Thanos and like take Adam Warlock's place.
Yeah. Because in the comics, it is Adam Warlock who comes in to save the day.
Yeah. So
which I think, like, because you said they were delaying Adam Warlock's reveal or whatever.
Yeah. So because
which makes sense because they want. I mean, obviously they wanted to switch this because they wanted to put more emphasis on Captain Marvel, so they're gonna have her come in instead of Adam Warlock, which makes sense.
And Brie Larson, she's been doing her research, man. She's like, she posts pictures of herself like just reading comic books, so she's gonna have this character down.
There was something that said that they were talking about Captain Marvel, and they said that I forgot who it was who said it, but they said that Captain Marvel will be. I'm totally like losing the words, but they're basically saying that like whatever Wonder Woman did,
Mm-hmm.
because Wonder Woman did a lot. Like
Yeah.
it was like it was literally the first female led superhero movie, and people are loving it.
Yeah.
Now like Marvel is saying that Captain Marvel is going to do that, but better, and basically they're just going to do it. They're going to blow it out of the water.
So
I kind of took that as you guys are jealous.
True, but if you look at the character of what Captain Marvel is,
Mm-hmm.
and this being Marvel's first female led
Right.
they're gonna do their damn best to give Wonder Woman a run for her money.
Exactly, but that's the thing. I feel like they're going to have a lot of room for error.
Yeah.
You know, because already they're boasting these claims that are going to be like, oh, Captain Marvel is going to be better than Wonder Woman because we're going to do it like this. We're going to do this, this, and this. And then it's like, cool. Now you're starting to overhype the movie, or you're going to overhype it.
I've been staying away from Marvel stuff since Infinity War, and that's just because I didn't want Infinity War spoiled for me. After this, I'm looking at Ant-Man trailers and stuff like that.
I just cracked my neck, and I'm pretty sure that's going to pop up in the recording.
Tough break. So yeah, like it's gonna. I don't know. I want it to do well, which I'm sure it will, but I have this certain expectation for it.
Right, and I do. I haven't.
Not because it's a female-led superhero movie. It's because I have a specific like look of how her powers should be. And how they should function, and I don't know. I'm just excited.
I mean, I didn't read the article, but when I passed over it, and it started making these claims about how Captain Marvel is going to be. It made me want to see the movie because I got the feeling that when Wonder Woman came out, Marvel was just like, "Oh shit, we got to do something."
Well, no, it wasn't even like that. They've had Captain Marvel planned for years,
right? But the fact that it did so well, they probably had. I feel like they might have.
You think that even though like their past movies have been. I would say I would give that claim towards their Black Widow movie being pushed because it's in development now. Mm-hmm. Before people were like clamoring for it, like
right. Well,
give us a Black Widow.
Well,
movie.
what I'm saying is like I'm not saying it's like oh well we needed to get this out before Wonder Woman. I'm just saying like because of what Wonder Woman did for like movies and stuff like that, not just like superhero movies but like movies in general. I feel like Marvel probably had a vision for what they wanted with Captain Marvel at first, and now they're saying like now that Wonder Woman's out, they're like, "Huh, we might have to change our game."
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so because even from the beginning, they were saying that they were gonna rewrite Captain Marvel's original story, and what we're gonna see on screen is all completely fresh and new.
Okay.
Because she's not the first Captain Marvel.
Right. She's the second one.
Yeah. And they couldn't really do that, and they can't really give her like a drinking problem because it's Disney, and
of course.
they can't really give her all the horrible things that happen in her life to be on screen.
Of course.
So, Marvel has already had this plan in motion for years. I would say maybe them seeing Wonder Woman was like, okay, maybe we gotta start having more female leads, which is maybe what's pushing Black Widow.
Black Widow, yeah.
About
damn time too.
Yeah, because they should have had, at the very least, they should have had a Black Widow and Hawkeye movie.
Oh, that would have been great.
Because they started out together in the comics, not as a couple, but they were like robbing people and shit.
Exactly, and plus they had a very good like dynamic in the first Avengers movie.
Yeah,
and we never got to see any more of that.
Yeah.
No, instead we got a Black Widow Green Hulk relationship thing. It's like kind of weird, but okay.
But yeah, so I like to see more female led characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who would you like to see as far as the next one? Because obviously a Black Widow's in the works. Captain Marvel we're getting at the beginning of next year or
something like that.
The end of this year or something. Let's see, who's another female character that isn't part of like a group? Because the first one that came to mind was Invisible Woman, Sue Storm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I was like, no, you have to have the Fantastic Four for that. And then everyone else that I'm kind of thinking of is either an X-Men or just a villain. I can't think of any at the moment, and I'm pretty sure someone's gonna yell at me after they hear about this. But yeah, just more females, more female characters. Speaking of female characters, Gamora. How did you feel about her entire situation?
I liked it. I mean, from like the first like two Guardian, well, maybe not second Guardian, but like the first Guardians movie, you know, she's like hell bent on like I'm gonna kill Thanos, blah blah blah. And then
I felt something. It wasn't good, but I felt something when she was like, when Thanos turns to her with like a tear in his eye, and she's like, "Oh, a single tear? Like really, you really care about?" And he's like heartbroken.
He's like, "What exactly do you care about?"
And he's like, "I'm sorry." And he just chucks her off the cliff. And I'm fuck, like, oh man. But yeah, like she's definitely gonna come back.
Oh, of course,
because you can't get rid of one of your like one of your like 5 female characters.
Yeah, it's like, what are you, Joss Whedon?
Oh, jeez.
Nah, I thought it was cool. I thought I had a point. I guess I don't. This movie was great. Like I said, it didn't feel like it was almost 3 hours long. Like there wasn't a lot of slow moments either. And when there was like lulls in the action, I said lulls. It didn't drag.
It didn't.
And like it kept you invested on like what's going on.
That credit goes to the Russo brothers because again, they've done Arrested Development, and the jokes that they do on there and the way that they frame jokes and stuff, like when like Rocket insults Star-Lord. And he's like you're one sandwich away from being fat or whatever. And then you see the camera like pan to Quill to get his reaction. That's the kind of like framing and cinematography that they use.
Didn't James Gunn write everything?
Yeah, he wrote it, but he didn't
direct it. Right.
He didn't direct it. Okay, the cinematography.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah. So the framing, goes to them too, and so I think that was really smart to tell James Gunn, like, hey, come write for your characters.
Yeah, no, and because that was, like I said, that was another thing that made it seem like each character was different.
Yeah.
Like,
because I feel, and no offense to the Russo brothers, but I feel like if they had a hand in writing the Guardians, Peter Quill would have been more of like similar to Tony and Peter. But I'm glad James Gunn was the one who wrote for his characters.
Right. No, I mean it made perfect sense for him. Yeah. So let's talk about the deaths. Yeah. Because there was a lot.
Okay.
A lot.
So the one that got me choked up, obviously, Spider-Man.
Of course. Did you know Tom Holland improvised that scene?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But
that fucker deserves an award for that.
The whole thing, and there's a theory, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's the only thing that makes sense as to why his took the longest. Mm-hmm. The theory is that his spider sense warned him about it, which is why he's like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. Yeah. And then the reason why him turning into Ash was taking so slow was because his healing factor was slowing it down. Mm-hmm. And when I read that theory, I was like, fuck. Like, that just makes that scene even more sad because that just means he just suffered longer.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know if there was any pain to it because it seemed like it was just seamless.
But it might have just been a weird feeling. Yeah. But the thing is, in a situation like that, when you're basically just fading away,
he was feeling so unnatural for not minutes, but everyone was almost like in a second.
Right.
His was like a minute, maybe 2 minutes.
And plus, when you're, I feel like if you're doing something if you're going through something like that. That could last like maybe 10 seconds, but to you it could feel like an eternity. Yeah. So it broke my heart when he was holding Tony. He's like, Mr. Stark, I don't want to go, please. He's like, please make it stop. He's like begging him, and then he just
fades away, and I was just like, no, like just wiping my face. My brother's like looking over.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
like,
So I remembered the meme. There's like a meme. It was a picture. It said "Never buy Marvel toys," and it had a picture of like a Spider-Man toy in a box.
Was it just Ash?
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's so fucked up.
I hate it, but man, just just good move for Tom Holland, man.
Yeah,
for
that improvised scene, great.
Yeah,
he's got the potential to be a great actor. There was a lot of deaths I didn't see coming. Like I was not expecting Black Panther to die.
Yeah,
I was like, you literally just introduced him. Now you're killing him.
Yeah, Black Panther, Groot. Oh
yeah, Groot.
It was revealed that what Groot says to Rocket is he calls him Dad.
No.
Yeah, he calls him Dad, and then he fades away.
That's horrible.
So James Gunn said that this Groot is not the same Groot. He does not have the memories of the old Groot.
Mm-hmm.
That Groot is
that's
completely
right.
gone.
Yeah.
Like, which is a completely brand.
I don't like though.
I don't like that either.
Because that's not how it is in the comics.
It's not, but James Gunn is writing these characters the way he wants. So genetically he's related to that older Groot because he was grown from a piece of him, but it's not the same Groot.
Right.
Who else disappeared? Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky's.
I'm trying to go through the roster.
Doctor
Strange, obviously.
Quill
did.
Drax.
All the Guardians except for Rocket.
That's true.
Yeah, all of the Guardians except for Rocket because does Mantis?
Yeah, I think she does.
Okay. Who else?
I actually have a theory of why Thor didn't vanish. Because you would think that... Because Thor...
Well, the original Avengers did not vanish.
Oh, true.
All the original Cap, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Bruce.
That's true. That's right. Yeah. Oh, then I guess my theory doesn't hold much water.
What was going to be your theory?
Well, okay, because you would think that the person who'd be able to stand up to Thanos with that gauntlet would be Thor and his Stormbreaker axe. So you would think that when Thanos snaps his fingers, he would want to get rid of Thor, just in case.
Yeah.
I feel like his axe is immune to the powers of the Infinity Gauntlet. Because you saw, like, when he comes down at him, Thanos fires a full blast to Thor, and he just plows right through it and stabs him with his axe. Yeah. So I'm thinking that because of his axe, or because, I want to say it's because of his axe. Because of his axe, he is immune to the effects of the Infinity Gauntlet.
He might not be immune. He's just probably...
Or maybe, like, protected from it at least. Or something. Because...
Might be.
Yeah. Because, like I said, like, he fired a full blast with all the powers.
Also, really quick, super cool seeing him fly with lightning.
Oh, yeah, right?
Just flying through.
Oh.
He's great.
It was so good. I also have a theory for what's coming up. But is there anything else you want to add? Because I feel like we've talked about everything.
I mean, there's nothing I can add. Just the only thing is, like, all the newcomers were vanished. Just all the newcomers were gone. So obviously they're coming back, but to what? I'm wondering what they're gonna do with Cap, since this will be Chris Evans' last.
That's right. Oh, that's right, because Falcon disappeared.
Oh, that's right. Falcon did disappear.
Yeah. But Rhodey, he's not necessarily part of the Avengers, but he didn't disappear.
No.
Interesting.
I feel like everyone Sam Wilson was in Age of Ultron. He had a cameo during the party, because it was Cap tells him, like, hey, did you get any info on our friend? And he was, because they were still hunting down the Winter Soldier.
Oh, right.
So he was there. So anyone, I would say, anyone that was involved with the Avengers, but doesn't make sense because Rocket is still alive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't have any theories. I haven't watched anything for theories.
I mean, who knows? It could have just been completely random and purely coincidental that the original Avengers team is still there.
It's random in the movie,
right?
But trying to think of it as as a creative, why all the newcomers? Why all of them? To be erased, but you still leave the original cast, the original group together. But
maybe it's because for Avengers 4 maybe they want to focus, since like you said a lot of the original characters are the little original cast, their contracts are basically up. So maybe they want to put the original cast on the spotlight for one last time before they bring everybody back so they can do the whole new stuff.
That's probably what it is.
Right. Okay. Now here's my theory before we end this here. So you realize the Gauntlet got pretty fucked up at the end. It looked like he got fucked up.
I didn't notice.
You didn't notice that?
Honestly, I did not notice.
Okay. So when Thanos snaps his fingers, the Gauntlet gets it looks weird. It looks all messed up or whatever. And Thor's all like, "What did you do?" Because he's looking at the Gauntlet and he's like, "What did you do?"
I need to watch it again because I don't even remember him. I don't even remember him saying that.
Yeah. But the Gauntlet's pretty fucked up.
I think I was just because I walked out of that theater like I walked out of a funeral because I was quiet. I was quiet for 20 minutes. We went to Fat Burger afterwards, and I was just I was silently and very sad eating my burger. But the only thing I can really flash in full detail are just mostly the Spider-Man scenes.
Right, of course. But yeah, Thor's like, "What did you do?" And the Gauntlet's all fucked up because, and again, I looked this up somewhere because that Infinity Gauntlet was created on whatever star that place was that Thor gets his hammer from. So that Gauntlet was not really. It's not the actual Infinity Gauntlet from the comics where it can completely house all the gems. That's just a tool. And I feel like when Thanos snapped his fingers using the power of everything, it fucked up the Gauntlet.
Oh. Maybe by overloading it?
Maybe by overloading it. So here's my theory. And I might be throwing it out. It might be out there, but obviously all these characters are going to come back. They're going to use the Gauntlet in some way to bring everybody back. But maybe because the Gauntlet is fucked up, in the process of bringing everybody back, they inadvertently opened up a new realm, and now we'll have X-Men and Fantastic Four.
I mean, I wouldn't count it at this point because now that Disney now owns those Fox mergers and stuff, I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them at least using that to start to build a new thing. Because I doubt we're gonna get Fantastic Four or X-Men in Avengers 4, or even a small cameo to that. But I can see them leaving the audience, leaving some kind of tool or kind of visual representation of that possibility. So, I mean, it's not too far off.
Yeah.
I mean,
it'd be cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because it. Again,
plus, it gives them more opportunity to work with more movies now that all these actors' contracts are up. Yeah. And plus, I would love to see, the X-Men in there because now they can finally use the word mutants. Yeah. And then
because people are like, oh, now that you don't have these characters anymore, you can have Shuri be the Black Panther and you can bring in Miles Morales. I'm like, well, yeah, but Miles is a child, right? in this world. I know he's been confirmed, and I'd like to see him too, but he's a child. he's a child. Shuri,
I don't think she's experienced enough to become the Black Panther just yet.
She's a great character, but she's mostly about her tech.
Exactly. Not much of a skilled warrior either.
Yeah. I mean, Bucky's gone, so he wouldn't be able to take up a mantle unless they bring him back. So
right. So yeah, I feel like it would. I think that's what I would like to see. I mean, because it would make a lot of sense. Because at first, this movie was going to be in 2 parts. And then they decided to switch it to just make it a separate movie and then make Avengers 4. Yeah. And we don't even know what the title of Avengers 4 is going to be. So I feel like maybe in part, maybe I felt like they were getting close to that. Or I don't know.
Would you want Avengers 4 to pick up immediately after? Like
yes.
Immediately after? Or would you want it to be like, oh, it's been
like the
time.
aftermath?
Like, it's been the aftermath and they've been trying to figure shit out. Because I want it immediately after.
Yeah.
I want it immediately after. I want it to, like, continue on and Tony Stark will be like, well, okay, well, now I gotta find a way home.
Because he's on Titan.
Yeah.
He's
like, I gotta find a way home. Is he the only one on Titan? He's
there with Nebula.
Oh, yeah, Nebula. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, Nebula has her ship. Okay.
Right. So. Yeah. Then you know what? Yeah. I would like to see the movie take place immediately after. Yeah. I think it'd be good
because that would give a great intro to introduction to this modern version of Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. She would come in and she'd be like, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah, like, what is going on here?
I mean, but trying to think. Yeah, there's just really not much more that I can think of them even doing after this because I have no idea where they can go. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we know they're coming back. How they're gonna do it, I don't know.
Well, I feel like the 2 best ways to follow up Thanos would be...
Who's gonna kill him? Drax? Honestly, I think it's gonna be Captain Marvel.
You think Captain Marvel's gonna be the one to do it?
I think it's gonna be Captain Marvel to be the one to do it. Cause she's really like no bullshit.
Right.
Like she's not like a typical like. There's a comic where it was in Civil War II where she has the mohawk, and Spidey's like, oh, so about your hair, and she's like if you say another word, no, she goes, make fun of it, and I can vaporize you with just a snap of my finger, and he's like, it looks nice. So that little thing alone just shows you like she's not here to like play games or anything like that, just because how powerful she is. So I honestly think it's gonna be her, but I want to see I want to see Ant-Man and the Wasp just to see the end because I want to know what's going on. Maybe Hawkeye makes a cameo with like hey, my family's gone. Like, right. Also, Ant-Man's the only newcomer, as far as we know, that didn't disappear. So I mean, who knows? Well, like at the end of Ant-Man, he could just like dust away.
That's true.
But he's in the pictures for Avengers 4.
Right. So, well,
but again, also misdirect. So.
Of course, yeah. So real quick before we end this, again, now that we've got the Fox or the merger and everything's all done, and if my theory does hold water, I would love to see to follow Thanos either, and especially especially now if they're going to introduce cosmic stuff, I would love to see them do Galactus.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to do that much on a large scale, Doctor Doom.
You know what? I'm pretty sure they're not too far off from doing Doctor Doom.
Yeah, because I think that would be really cool.
They're not too, because I don't know if it's canceled. I don't know what's going on with it, but apparently there was a Doctor Doom movie in the works. But I don't know if that was going to be a part of that horrible Fantastic Four movie that we had a couple years ago, or a few years ago. But I haven't followed it, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Right.
It might be just dead in the water.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome. Yeah, that movie was good. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So from now on, let's make it official. If you can't make it on a Tuesday, Friday nights.
All right.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff. And
like, share, please.
Yes, and leave comments. That way we know you guys are watching and not just not.
Well, we know
watching.
they're watching. We can see the timestamps.
That's true.
but ask questions.
Yes,
Please.
let us know. And we're also looking for ideas for new segments too. So if you guys have like an idea, let us know.
Yeah.
Because we obviously can't think of any.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Quick bits. It's really just a lazy way to kill like 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And we are very lucky if we segue into whatever we're talking about. So
I've been deliberately doing that so we can segue into things.
All right, guys. Well, you know where to find us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.